iPhone since the first one in 2000.
Proof that you can get free energy.
To the woman who randomly commented on
Don't buy any fruits.
Here's me putting in for the 5100, and it's an old IBM legacy machine. John Titor has first mentioned this in terms of a time travel technology, and this is actually loosely based on the Titor model, but this is a bit different. But there I am creating a portal by just putting in the right circuit board into the 5100. Doesn't even need to be plugged in because it has what's called a latency charge. But this is, I'll show, I go through this. And this is another example of a little bit of a different portal than the first one that you saw. But nonetheless, this one is completely effective and basically shows the space-time distortion that's created. Now, once you go through the portal, everything sort of regulates and you're able to see things in the normal sense. But if you look back, this is, the portal will remain for approximately an hour, sometimes even 2, depending on the charge, the latency charge of the 5100 that you're using as your primary temporal adjudicator. But if you look around, it starts to collapse. And when you see collapse, you got to go. Here's a little funny little bit, though. You got to hear this.
I was assigned to record anomalies and find other wanderers not resetting correctly. Eventually, it was discovered that I was leaking my videos to the app TikTok. Although there was no way for admins to stop me, this was eventually put to an end with the ban.
Wait, what the heck? They have regulators that regulate what happens if you go through the portals and forget to close the portal? What the heck is portals are also going through the time? Is this real? Is this real? I've seen videos of portals and like people going from 2D to 3D and then coming back between portals. This one definitely appears so weird. Even the way it's like, it's just fake enough that it could be real, it feels like. Is that a thing?
Yeah, let's go to the mountain.
Honorable Elijah Muhammad said this. He said, if you ate one meal every other day, you would only get sick one day every 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
And he said, I then asked Master Father Muhammad, what can I do to get rid of that one day of sickness every 4 or 5 years? He said, if you eat one meal and fast for 72 hours, there will not be enough poison in your body from the previous meal to even get you sick one day in your life. So that tells us that sicknesses, all the illnesses are food related. If we would not eat as much as we do and fast more, then we will find ourselves being able to cure. The body, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, your body is its own hospital. But to get it open for business, you got to fast. And when you fast, you open the doors of your hospital to heal you.
Wait, what? You have to fast? Or I can just make myself alkalinized, right? Alkalinized? I don't want to be acidic. I don't know. One person says eat, another one says don't eat, another one says just eat, but very rarely. Bros, take care of your own health. Make sure you figure out what works for you, because hey, everyone's different. You know, figure out what in your family, hey, who's lived the longest, figure out their diets, work through it. It's genetic. It's genetic. I'm feeling it.
So I had to go find my bigger pieces of quartz because the ones I was using yesterday were too small. Quartz is piezoelectric. This means that it produces electricity or light underneath pressure. This is the same force that they used to charge the cities in Egypt.
Wait, what? Scientists found electromagnetic what? What is this madness? What is this madness? I need to read that a little bit more. All right, so this guy's rubbing two quartz together. Quartz gives energy. We know this. I have a Shivalingam. There is constant energy from the Shivalingam. I can feel it. Trust me. Anyone in the presence of it says it feels interesting. All right, so yeah, this is something ancient Egypt, piezoelectric energy from the granite, found in the king's chamber. Chemical composition of the granite was also silicon dioxide and quartz. And it was composition of 84%. So, okay, I mean, remember, they found no mummies in these chambers. So it's not, when they say king's chamber, There was no baddies in there. You stop it. All right, continue on. What's the other thing? So he says this. What's all this stuff up here? Wait, what's this? Try rubbing 2 quartz. All right. I'm sorry. I'm exploring. I'm trying to understand the thing. You stop it. You stop. Let me explore it. Oh, boy. But this is the only time I can explore. The new content is so short form. I want to say so much things, but I have to cut it so short. They said 10 seconds max. That's max. Bro, you can't 10 seconds. Oh, my God. Why am I telling you this? We're going to continue. All right, some stuff going on. All right, what's this thing? Scientists have found that the shape of the Great Pyramid of Giza focuses electromagnetic energy such as radio waves within its hidden chambers. Bro, I'm telling you, it's not a this thing is an energy generator, a communication. It's everything else except what they tell you it is. It's everything else except what they tell you it is. Dude, they literally use this. Could even be used as solar cells. Bro, look at this. Look at this. That is wild. Yeah, that was it. That was the entire thing. All right. Whoa. Forgot about the car. Sorry.
So this is our goal. Be anywhere in the world, whether you're at home sitting on your couch, visiting space, or right here on stage at TED. In just a few seconds, Pillbot entered the stomach. And I'm carefully navigating around, looking for any changes in surface architecture that might represent an ulcer or a cancer or any other pathology. And I'm able to get very similar views as I would if I'd use a conventional endoscope.
Now, the way this robot moves is it has 3 pump jet thrusters that squirt water in 6 different directions that allow the Pillbot to fly around in 3-dimensional space in a water volume. It has a camera, so it gives you a live video feed. It has control circuitry. It has LED lights because inside the human body is quite dark. It has a wireless data link, and it has a battery. What we started with wasn't not quite swallowable. But we finally worked our way down, and where we are these days is about the size of a small multivitamin capsule. To go even smaller, we actually have technology that exists today that allows us to make robots at the nanoscale, which now can bring robots anywhere in the human body, even into the human brain.
How else are they going to find the worms in the brains if they don't make it smaller? We recently heard about smart dust. Everything is getting more and more into... They're finding a way to watch us inside and outside. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
So if you bought every iPhone since the first one in 2007, you spent $20,600. That's the amount you put out of pocket over that time period. Now, if you bought the stock, hear me now, you took the same amount of money you spent at that time for the iPhone, and I went back and made a chart so people could see it, and bought the stock. Today, all that adds up to $206 million. So it's like, no. You know, yes, that's the real number. That's the real number. So we just don't teach people. We don't teach people to question their limiting beliefs, and we don't teach them beliefs that empower them.
This is crazy. This is crazy. I guess this is what we need to start doing. They still releasing iPhone models, so it should still work, right? Historical trends. It's going to keep repeating itself. I can keep doing this. Maybe we should do something else instead of iPhones. Maybe, Samsung? Nah. Maybe there's a better NVIDIA? Nah. Or maybe more NVIDIA always supplies. I don't know. There's a right and wrong answer. Do your own research. Wait, this is the wrong. I got to update my banner. Let me see. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. All right. All right. Going back. Oh, boy.
So I just found out that earlier this year, the Mexican cartel saw how popular avocados were, probably because 20-year-old girls were putting them on toast. And they got into the avocado business. They now control the distribution of avocados, and avocados are cheaper than they've ever been. There's a surplus of avocado. Literally in Philadelphia a couple weeks ago, they gave away hundreds of thousands of avocados. So we need to convince the cartel to sell everything else. Just everything, all of it.
I feel like someone is getting hurt while others are getting... So I don't know how it works. I don't want to know. Don't come after me. I haven't said anything bad. But interesting. Thanks for providing some stuff for free. And
you talked about how there's advantages of actually burying someone in your backyard.
Yeah.
And you said something about it when Trump buried his ex-wife in his backyard.
Yeah.
It got rid of all the liens.
Absolutely. Not just that. Hell, it's way beyond just liens. You don't owe any property tax forever. Never, ever again. This is why they just found out that this whole hoax that went viral about Elvis Presley in the state. Did you see that?
No.
It's impossible. You can't go bankrupt with Graceland. You can't, maybe the business part of it, but the property will always remain with the family because of the burial site. It completely grandfathers it in. So you actually will never owe property tax on the entire property forever. Forever. You will also...
In every state?
Yes, in the United States of America.
So if I put a dead body in my backyard, anyone, right? Any dead body.
Your family.
Only my family.
You have to be your family.
Okay, so I kill somebody. All right. Who do I know? Who do
You
I
have to be
just like?
related to them so that you have the tie to them.
Yo, is this trusts before trusts? I didn't know this is how it worked. I don't know. I don't want estates taken away from me to a government, but at the same time, this feels like a weird loophole in order to make this work. But at the same time, who's going to be buying an estate that there's a dead body on? It's like, yo, whose family is that? Are they haunting the place? There's so many questions. Yeah, they don't even tax it. All 50 states are doing this. I don't know about this.
Primary role of testosterone is not male characteristics. It's not deep voice, aggression, facial hair, muscles. It's none of those things. In men and women, the primary role of testosterone is to put pressure on the bone marrow to increase red blood cells. It's called erythropoiesis. So if I'm deficient in testosterone, I'm very likely deficient in red blood cells and hemoglobin. So how do I raise testosterone? I don't just start taking testosterone. I go further down the tree and I find out, what is testosterone made from? It's made from something called DHEA. And you can get your DHEA tested. If you are clinically deficient in DHEA, you will be deficient in testosterone. If you are deficient in testosterone, your bone marrow will produce less red blood cells and hemoglobin. If you produce less red blood cells and hemoglobin, you will be low on oxygen. If you are low on oxygen, you'll be low on energy. So that now let's just go right through the soil into the root. What is DHEA made from? Vitamin D3. So the first thing we want to do before we start talking about taking hormones is we want to make sure that our D3 is in the optimal range and our DHEA is in the optimal range, because 70% of the clients that we see that are deficient in hormones do not need hormones. They need the raw material for the body to make hormones. D3 and DHEA will raise testosterone, raise the pressure on the bone marrow, improve red blood cell and hemoglobin levels, and improve your oxidative state.
That is crazy. That is crazy. I always say, hey, you can do whatever feels right, but the best way to know is get some blood work done and know your current levels before you start any of these crazy things, you know? And definitely, I've gotten blood work done. My vitamin D3 levels are horrible, but I've also seen videos where they're like, vitamin D3 is just something that they're using to... Never mind. That's a whole different video. But yes, there's ways... that you can naturally increase your levels. Yeah, go ahead and do it. Figure out where your levels currently are before you just start doing it. What if you do too much? Too much of anything is bad.
I wish I would have saved the video. But to the woman who randomly commented on someone else's video about mosquito bites, that they use vanilla extract for mosquito repellent, bitch, I hope you get everything you want. I hope you get everything you want in life, because let me tell you, I have bought every single commercial product you could for mosquito repellency, because I get eaten alive because I have delicious blood apparently. And nothing works. And I'm in South Florida and it's really, really bad, especially around this time of year. Let me tell you, I mixed some water with some vanilla extract, and then I was like, you know what would smell also really good with this? A pinch of cinnamon. Mixed it all together, sprayed it everywhere. Let me tell you, not only do I smell like a delicious snack, a delicious baked good out here in the summer heat, girl, it works. I love you.
Yo, this is a person that has finally received something that works. And when it happens, this is what you're going to do. You're going to tell everybody, and everyone's going to think you're crazy and be like, nah, I just used still the old stuff. Try this out. It says it's 10 to 12 drops for a quarter cup of water, and she added cinnamon to it, so I guess it makes you smell good. But good to know.
avoid a root canal. What happens if you have an infection? If you use black seed oil, you will never get a root canal. But let's imagine you didn't know that. What I would be doing is I take sea salt, make sure it's microplastic free, no heavy metals in it. You take a tablespoon of the sea salt and you dissolve it in warm water and you take that solution 3 times a day. It's extremely potent. Just swish it out, and what the sea salt will do, it draws out the water of the cells of the bacteria, and this way they will explode inside your mouth. You completely nuke any infection you had. That is the secret that the dentist will never want you to know. So share this video with your friends to prevent these problems from happening, and follow me for more.
I had no idea that that oil prevented root canals, but we've heard about this with like everything. Cloves, xylitol gum, literally everything. I guess you can use this oil for everything. Black seed oil.
Proof that you can get free energy from the unlimited sea of electrons using inert gases and a vacuum. So for those of you that's seen my part 1 video of me using a plasma ball to power 2 light bulbs, then check out this, because you are going to really be fascinated by this. So as you can see, I have the same setup as before. I still have the same first light bulb here, but if you look how I have the circuits wired together using the copper wire, I can light as many of these light bulbs as I want using this plasma ball. And I can keep on adding them and they don't lose intensity. The circuit is not shorted out. So if the circuit isn't shorted out, that means it's all running on resonance. So I gotta keep tinkering around. Peace.
Wait, this does not make sense, or I don't understand Google scalar waves, but how does it run on resonance if it doesn't short out? If it doesn't short out, you're not producing enough voltage to short it out where it's overloaded, right? That's what causes the short. I'm sorry, I only did a little bit of electrical engineering. I'm about to call in my expert. Oh my God. I did the thing. I did the... You stop it, you fake camera. Where are you? Oh boy. Interesting. But was that a dodecahedron that he produced the thing? And then those LEDs, you don't need much energy for LED lights. It's very little. So yeah, he turned them on by touching it. Like he had to complete the circuit. I mean, I do believe in the free energy. We've seen so many videos where people harness different volts of energy as they go higher and higher up or lower. Interesting.
Well, understand why they say the windows are the eyes to the soul. You ever seen an eye under a microscope? Scientists been speaking about black holes in space forever. This is your eye right here, and this is a black hole in space. Your eye is really the black hole in space that pull in all kind of light. Remember, black holes pull in light. This is the reason why they want us on.
But whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's, the same shall save it. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?
On cell phones and TVs all the time because we are pulling in more light inside of our body. Military and scientists was doing experiments where they will open your eyes up and let people watch horror movies all day. Remember the movie Bird Box? They was trying to tell you everything about your eyes. Eyes is sacred. Your eyes is a portal. Be careful what you watch. The reason why a lot of people can't give you eye contact, because once you get someone eye contact, you are traveling in their universe. The eyes is really a mirror. If you look close, you can see your own reflection in someone's eyes. That's why they give people drugs. It dilates your pupils and more spirits can travel through your black hole.
Yo, that eye in the beginning looked crazy with like the way it was waving and stuff. That is crazy. It's like, yeah. But I feel like a black hole is not the eye though. But wouldn't it be cool? Because it kind of basically does the same thing. Is the black holes in space just bigger, giant eyeballs? Nah, that don't make sense. That correlation's hard to believe.
Always decline the body scanner. Yes, always opt for the pat down. The body scanners at the airport emit so much radiation. It's not even funny. There's so much that the people who work next to the body scanners have, it's like a 20 or a 50 time higher chance of coming down with brain cancer, tumors, and all types of issues related to their mind. The agents who work next to those scanners are all getting sick. They're always replacing those people all the time. So anytime you're going through, whether it's, the TSA pre or whatever it is, other side, the general side, any of the sides, whatever it may be, just always ask for the pat down so that you don't get bombarded. And the reason I say that too, the scanner hits you with the radiation. It can actually cause you to get really sick, right? Your body just got cooked. So a lot of people, when they're getting ill while traveling, it's because of they're getting radiated before they get on the plane, after they, and then let's say they get back on the plane to go somewhere else or whatever else, then they get radiated again.
Yeah, 100%. There's EMFs off of any electronic device, but this guy, sometimes there are stretches. Guys, you're getting radiated every time you travel. You see all those Teslas on the road, every time they're detecting a car in front of them, a person on the road, and it shows up on the thing, you're also getting radiated then. Now, keep in mind, we're goons. We're trying to be the cockroaches that live. No matter what they try to do to us, we continue to live. That's what we're manifesting. So, not too worried about it. I'd rather go through the scanner myself. Because I plan to live. I'm going to survive. Do you think that radiation is going to kill me? Get out of here. Get out of here. I plan to live even longer. We're going to transcend together. I ain't going to go risk missing my flight. I'm already late to the airport as it is. Barely making it. And, I'm not showing up 3 hours early. I ain't that guy. I procrastinate. I make it like, oh, man, just made it in time to get on the plane. Yeah, that's me. I'm going through the scanner. But not everyone needs to. Interesting.
Show me what you eat. I'll show you who you are, because you are what you eat. Don't be fake, fast, or cheap. Don't nobody want that. It starts with our consumption on 5 levels. The gut and the mind were combined when we developed in the womb until it was separated by your spine. Come on now. That's why they say trust your gut. That's why you get butterflies in your stomach. It's the internal compass. Happy gut, happy mind. Our consumption is the leading cause of disease, mental health, and suicide. What you're doing. And it's not just what you eat, what you drink, what you smoke. It's what you're watching, what you're listening to, who you follow when you scroll, who you poke, who you stroke. It's how the crib smells. Does it smell like old folks and artichokes? Our first line of defense is to filter our senses, because it would be senseless to leave them defenseless when the overall consensus is to convince us that there's consequences to being authentic. What you're doing. And if you don't believe me, I got a bundle full of facts from the experts who are dedicated to putting your health first. So you better get up, get over it, and get after it. Choose yourself and let's get in.
Yeah, I'm feeling this. Happy gut, happy mind. I've even seen what is it, like endorphins or serotonins produced from the gut. I've seen so many things. Have a good gut. Figure out your gut health before you figure anything else out.
It means your inability to think for yourself. If you think for yourself, you're a bastard. You're a maverick. Because you don't believe like everybody else. Let me tell you something, folks. Conformity is almost the worst word in the English language. You ask somebody, why you do that? Well, because everybody else does it. It means there's no thinking for yourself. I read one time where this saying said, when 2 people always agree, one of them is unnecessary. And believe me, that is true, because you don't learn nothing from the 2 people who tell you the same thing over and over again. If you look at what is going on in the world today, the medicine is no closer to finding a cure for cancer than it was the day it opened 57 years ago. They never will find it because it's much more profitable to look for a cure than to find one.
I feel like I already knew this, and that's why I keep hitting that like button, because I used to feel that was the cure, and everything seems good when I'm hitting that like button. Are you hitting that like button? Interesting. I actually don't know what the cure is. It's probably something dumb like eating baking soda or baking powder or something. Sodium bicarbonate. It's probably, I don't know. Why am I trying to figure out what the thing is? They'll never tell us. It's probably something dumb like eating dandelions. Something no one would ever expect.
Don't buy any fruits or vegetables with the new appeal sticker on them. They are covered in invisible chemical coatings designed to double their shelf lives and appear of freshness. Listen, now, according to the website, the product only has one ingredient, which is mono and disaccharide. I don't know how true that is, but we have to do our research. Now, so far, they've sprayed avocados, citrus fruits, and plastic-free cucumbers. English cucumbers, that is. And soon, 1,000 more of our fruits and vegetables will be sprayed with this.
Yeah, appeal is something that Bill Gates is behind. You know, they say it's safe. It's a wax-like material. They've also told us bioengineered foods are safe. Before they were called bioengineered foods, they were called genetically modified. So you pay enough people for one thing, they tell you what you want to hear. But when you do the actual research, you figure out your own health. Hey, does this work for you? Does it not? Hey, do you need to scrub off the pesticides and that wax? You figure it out. Do what works for your gut and your well-being. I'm not here. Hey, if you can have one of those like crazy cockroach guts and you can eat anything, keep breeding. Keep breeding. We need more of you. They're trying to kill us all. We're trying to outlive.
The most unfiltered truth that runs through every single human being is this. Everything that you want, you don't really want. Because if you wanted it, you would already have it. And the reason why you have the things that you have in your life is because you couldn't live without it. And the reason why you are where you are at, and this goes for everybody, mentally, spiritually, physically, financially, is because in the DNA that runs through your bloodstream, it is okay with you to be there. And let me take that back. So if I put your head on fire right now, time wouldn't matter. Your mom calling you, nothing would matter besides putting that fire out. Even if your worst enemy was looking at you laughing, you would jump in a nasty puddle outside if you had to, because you're moving with that much urgency to put the fire out. So when it comes to your life, why haven't you put out those fires with the same amount of urgency? And I can tell you why, because deep down inside, it's okay with you to be there. And that's just an unfiltering, raw truth for every single human. That goes from the human that doesn't have a pot to piss in all the way up to the billionaire that has it all. He could not live without himself not being there. Just true.
Yeah, I feel like any goons going through hard times, any goons that are like, hey, why is all this happening to me? Hey, it's happening because that's what you're focused in on right now, and that's the thing you need to get over before you focus on all the other things. So definitely, I hope this helps somebody out.
You need to understand that when even on your check, when you're writing a check, the place where you put your name on a check, look at that line, what you're signing on, and get a magnifying glass, and you will find that's not a solid line to sign your name on. That is written. It's a typed written sentence that's been honed down to microscopic size. Get a magnifying glass and read on a check what is said where you sign your name. That's why the attorneys tell you, you better check the small print. The small print is ultra small. Where you sign your name on a check is saying something. Go back and read it. You need to understand that according to the old Phoenician Canaanite system, which we call today our judicial, educational, and judicial system, there is no law in this country or in the Western world, no law, federal, state, county, city, commercial, it makes no difference. There is no law on the books anywhere in this country that applies to you as an individual creature. There is no law, because the people who designed the system thousands of years ago realized that there's two of you. There's the one that your mother gave birth to, that God created, so to speak, and even your mother didn't know what you were doing.
Yo, there's a lot of Jordan Maxwell watchers in my chat. So yeah, interesting take here. I never knew about the two representations. It's an interesting, I gotta look myself to see what exactly there is when you do sign. That is interesting. I never knew this.
You're looking at the next generation of robotics. This is Golem, a robotic limb that utilizes hydraulics with synthetic muscle fibers that mimic a real human arm. Every day now, we are getting closer to real Westworld-style robots that may be indistinguishable from humans. We are truly not in Kansas anymore. What do y'all think about this?
No, it's really playing with that opposable thumb. It's really playing with that opposable thumb. Yeah. Is this? Can we add AI to this also? I'm waiting for the next generation bots. They're gonna be the things. They're gonna help us do. I could use one. Imagine it makes dinner for me or something. Hey, I'm ready for the iRobots. I need a Sunny. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Stay safe. Stay strong. And most importantly of them all, stay home, stay safe. Triple G's, I'm out of here. Stay safe, stay strong. Goodbye.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.